Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Horror Podcast. My name is Sean,
And I am the abominable Anthony.
and we're going to do a movie today that the rest of our members ran in fear from. No, I'm kidding. They didn't.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
did, you cowards.
this this is a movie that is really word of mouth on the internet. I feel like has scared the shit out of people, scared some people away. When you told me you ordered this and watched it, I was very trepidatious about watching this film. What is the film?
The film is The Coffee Table. I believe this film came out in 2022, just made its way stateside recently. It had a very quick and short and sweet theatrical run a couple months back. However, the DVD had been available here stateside for quite a while now. And now that the word of mouth is kind of, generating a buzz, I think it goes for like 9.99 on Prime now because it was like 20 bucks. So Amazon's got it for like $9 now. If you want to spend 9.99 on it, be prepared for some shit. I'm just saying, and I don't mean shit in a bad way. Like it's just it's a rough watch depending on what audience member takes part. So
Yeah, and I want to say we were both talking before we rolled. We want to give a big shout out to Alex at Beyond the Void podcast, which I think we're both fans, and he always does a great job. But I really feel like he helped spread word on this movie, and he definitely got me interested. And he did a review, oh, I don't know, a month or probably 2 months ago, and then he recently had the director on for an interview that's very, very good. So I would definitely send people in that direction once you watch the movie.
absolutely.
I think you're right. I think depending on who you are and where you are in your life, it's going to determine how this movie affects you. I was surprised because I have a lot of lines that I don't like to cross. And so I was fearful of this movie, the way people were kind of speaking of it in hushed tones about how disturbing and repulsive it is. And I actually thought I didn't get that at all. I mean, it is the blackest fucking comedy I've ever seen. Like people think very bad things is that shit is Mary fucking Poppins compared to this. And I would also add that I feel like very bad things is in poor taste, a lot of it, and I don't particularly care for it. I don't think this is in poor taste at all.
I agree with you on that. I think it's very it's concise in the way that it's not trying to gross you out or anything like that, but it's more focused on how it builds tension. And there's not a lot to actually be grossed out about in this film. I'll say that off the bat. We're not going to do any spoilers here, just for the sake of like we want people to sit down and like actually watch the film because it is definitely worth your time. But no, I like very bad things for certain reasons, certain like silly reasons, which is why I would consider a film like that to be silly, and
Yeah.
to some fun. This is very very bleak. It's a black comedy. From the bits that I did see was just kind of like, it gave me this tiny smirk out of like coming from the horrific situation that's going on in the film. Short synopsis: a family goes to buy a coffee table, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
And
right. Leave it
I'm
there.
not telling you anything else. And it's that's the best thing Alex did in introducing this film to a lot of and helping generate the buzz for this U.S. audience, is not telling anybody what it's about. And thank you for that, Alex, because I went into this blind, and it was the biggest gut punch I've had in some time. And again, it has to do with where I'm at in life, and how my scruples align, and just uh, good God, like I can't go into it without making the film seem a certain way and deterring half the people that would be interested in it anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and so in that regard, fuck me. But I mean, if you give this film a chance, and and sit down with it, give it your time, and run where it takes you. Like it's just you're gonna come out nasty on the other side. It's not a horror film. It has plenty of horrific elements to it,
Yeah.
but this film will touch you in a nasty spot and have you feel in a certain way long after you've watched it. And to me, I was quite haunted by the film, to be honest. I do recommend it. It's a big recommend. I do like movies that unnerve me and push me in directions emotionally that I wouldn't necessarily go. So I'm okay with watching some more extreme cinema. However, this is not extreme cinema, but it is. It has elements of extremity that will uh, graze you and will keep things. Again, it'll leave a mark. It's just it's that kind of film. Spanish language. Um, Hopefully that doesn't matter to our audience, but definitely give the coffee table a go. It's fucking incredible.
I would definitely say that it reminded me a lot of Richard Bates Jr.'s movies. And I would say if you are listening to this and you're familiar, I think if you like them, I think you'll like this. I feel like there's also a comparison to be made to Alex de Iglesia, not just because of Spanish language, but because it's another filmmaker that tends to kind of run right toward taboo. And taboo isn't really the this doesn't this doesn't utilize or address taboos in society, but it definitely breaks a certain taboo that I've heard before, as far as like, when you're making a movie, don't do this. And just, I'll just leave it at this. When you told me about this, and I knew Alex had done a review, and I asked you, this isn't like some Serbian film shit, right? Which I've never watched and I never will. But I was like, this isn't something like that, right? That like I'm never going to be able to unsee. And you said, no, it's haunting, but it's not that. I feel like that sums it up perfectly.
Miles apart, miles apart. But yeah. I think I wrote in my letterbox. It does dabble or touch the taboo a little bit, but not that it doesn't go overboard. Well, it does go overboard. But
It,
again, for me personally, after watching the film, I was just left with this mortified feeling. I don't know, man. It really fucked me up. Like, and that's like the goal of the film. Obviously, it's like, how
yeah.
can I really fuck with you and jar your senses? And in that regard, I find it completely fucking effective. I mean, Gaia Casas, amazing job in that regard. But yeah, I don't know. This movie's not going to get everybody on that note, and I understand it. And Alex has even told me before, like people have watched it and are kind of like, oh well, that's not what I was expecting. I was wanting a bloodbath film with a bunch of arms and legs everywhere. That's not what this is. It's not what this is.
It's a
But
very human movie. It's a
absolutely,
situation that anybody could be in that would just be absolutely awful to be in. And it uses that, and it just makes you feel for the people by turning the tension fucking knob is just being turned slowly the whole fucking movie. And I mean, it creates an uncomfortable atmosphere, but like you said, like sometimes that's good.
yeah. There's stuff like that I've seen in other films that have fueled the drive to get through it, and yeah, this is definitely one of them. Um, I'm not going to say it's for everybody, and I think it's manageable for a lot of people, but it does strike a chord with a certain demographic of viewers that it will definitely
Yeah.
fuck you up, and I happen to be one of them. So uh, with that being said, though, I still say give it your money, because I'd like this guy to be able to make more films, as far as, and we always say here on the show too, support the indie and the underground. and this is a prime example of that kind of film, and definitely deserves our support, your support. So I mean, buy it, rent it, any way you can see this film, definitely legally within legal parameters.
Yeah. Give the
Definitely.
create. See, if you're gonna steal from the big studios. Don't steal from a creator like this. This guy, this is totally independent. I mean, I think he said in the interview with Alex that like what he shot this for wouldn't even be a day of filming in, you know, in the US or whatever. And I mean, I was just reading an article that Barbara Crampton wrote in not the most recent Fangoria that just came out, but the one before it. And it had Chucky on the front. And she was talking about, you know, it's really slim pickings right now. COVID and the strike, like the industry hasn't recovered yet, especially with the independent. And it's difficult to be an independent filmmaker and find a way in. And I feel like it was this guy's way in. And yeah, I didn't know, like in that interview, Alex was talking about his other film, Killing God, which I haven't seen yet. So, but I'm definitely curious to know more about this guy. I feel like I want him to succeed. So I second your, you know, your motion that people go out and support this for sure.
Definitely. Again, thank you, Alex, for bringing it to my attention, to a lot of people's attention. And when you guys get a chance, go listen to Beyond the Void. They are a fucking great duo over there. Him and his girlfriend Christina, they're fantastic and very knowledgeable, and you know, really work hard on doing their due diligence in as far as getting the information together for their episodes to give to you guys. Quality stuff over there. Definitely go give them a listen as well.
Yeah, agreed. That's a coffee table.
Yeah.
So go see it, support it. If you hate it, if you love it, if you think we should burn in hell for recommending it, drop us a comment. Otherwise, stay silent, live long, and stay scared.
A pandemic of violence floods the streets of major cities as cases of the media-dubbed murder virus, MV20 soar, causing those infected to go on killing sprees. Caught in the middle, police detective Angela Miller finds her only trustworthy ally in the self-proclaimed psychic PI, Gerald Henry. As the two try to navigate the violence, they are drawn into New Age guru Abramelin Harvest's plot to heal the planet. Harvest's missive:
the world is sick, and humanity is the infection.
The cure: murder. From the twisted mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires and Shadowplay in Book 1, Kim and Jesse, comes his most vicious novel yet, Murder Virus. Available where books are sold.